In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the exact numbers for you to be able to hit $20,000 in profit per month. And I wanna give a massive shout out to Zello Season, commented and asked specifically for this video. So if you guys want more videos just like these, comment down below and I promise I will do my best to make videos just like these. But this is the money math, the breakdown to be able to make $20,000 per month in actual profit. Here's exactly the money breakdown to be able to hit 20K per month. So number one, you want to make sure that you have the systems and processes in place. The reality is to be able to hit 20K a month in actual profit, right? I'm gonna put this down below because AP, submitted, issue paid, there's all these facetious numbers. We're gonna be talking about actually hitting $20,000 in profit. There's gonna be a few different factors that actually play into this. The biggest thing that I would say, especially if you're a solo producer, is number one, what your sales ability is like. And this is, we'll talk about the sales process here in a second. And then number two is marketing, right? Because here's the thing, you just need a decent enough lead and have a really dialed in sales processes and systems in place. Not just the script, right? Not just the words that you're actually sharing, not just what you're saying to the clients, not just your objection overcomes, but that's definitely part of it, right? But actually having Pixie in place, having a dialer in place, so like a local presence one, having a CRM in place. There's so many different things that go into the actual sales process that play into this. And if you haven't already, check out my video that I actually go deep into the sales process and not just the how to get good at sales, but just the whole sales process. Because if you have that locked in and have automations flowing and your marketing is dialed, then that's where you're able to hit this 20K profit number a lot faster. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, your sales ability and making sure your metrics are dialed in, and then also the marketing side. So let me just kind of preface this. It's really important if you're doing final expense telesales, which Zello Season is doing final expense telesales. Here's the thing, all right? You need to get leads for 5 to 8 a lead. All right, if you're not getting 5 to 8 a lead, there's a few different factors that might play into that. How many states you have, what your product that you're selling, is it IULs, term, final expense? Like what are you actually selling? Annuities, like those are gonna be insanely expensive. Mortgage protection, same thing. But if you're selling final expense, $5 to $8 a lead is really the goal in the sweet spot. I don't have time to get into like how do you create friction or take it out to be able to get this lead cost, but a decent lead, $5 to $8 a lead. Now from here, assuming that you have that in place, right? And we'll just say for the sake of the example, it's coming out at $6 a lead, which in my agency, we're spending about $500 to $1,000 a day right now. And our cost per lead is like $5. But anyways, say conservatively, we're at $6 to $8 a lead. In this example, we'll do 6. And your sales ability, let's just say it's like in the upper tier, right? Because you don't want to be average. I hate when people ask me, what does the average person do? Like if you're asking that question, you are average. You're below average actually. So if you're asking that question, like that's a horrible question to ask. Like what are the top guys doing? Like how do I get to their level, right? But we're gonna say that you're 60%, 70%, not average. If you're watching this video, you better not be average. All right, so here's the point. All right, so $6 a lead, and let's just say your closing percentage, our top guys are doing 80% in like a present. If they present numbers, they're closing and actually getting a policy in place for the family. But let's just say you're all right in your closing, let's just say 60%. All right, so your close rate is actually 60% on these people you're calling. And let's just say, for example, as well, that you're using Kicks, you're using the local presence dialers, your automations are on point. So you're able to get let's just say like between 5 to 10% close rate on total leads. All right, so we'll kind of get back to this here in a second. But now that we have these in place, now we kind of have to backtrack exactly how much AP we need to do, what's your placement rate, what your chargeback rate is. We're gonna go over all these numbers. So just to put in my notes here, we need to talk about your chargeback percentage over the year, right? We need to talk about placement rate, which is super important. And I'll kind of give you tips to be able to make sure your placement rate is dialed in. And not only that, with the chargeback placement rate, we need to talk about average policy size. We had cost per lead here, which is great. And let's just say we also add in the advance. This is gonna be over time after you get past the 10, 11, 12th month. it's going to be a little bit, you're going to get an increase. You should get a 25% increase with your advances being paid, and then you get your residual and back end income. But let's just say for this example, you're doing 75%, obviously. Let's see here, 75% for the advance, and you got to multiply that by your chargeback percentage, and say you're a newer agent and say it's 75%, right? This is being conservative. I just want to give you the real and honest numbers, right? There's going to be people on YouTube that are talking about, hey, you could do this, and if they don't talk about these actual numbers. So that's why you're watching this video, because you want the actual numbers to be able to hit it, because you put the numbers in place that other people are going to say, and then you actually implement them and you execute, but they didn't talk about your chargeback rate and your placement rate. These are things that most other people are not going to tell you, but your boy loves you. All right, it's cool. 75%, and I actually want you to succeed as well. So another thing, right? Say your comp structure. Let's just say that you're at 100%, right? Because that's another thing that's going to play in. If you're buying your leads and you're paying for your leads 100%, if you're not paying for your stuff and somebody else is coming out of their pocket, taking the risk for you, then you're not going to get 100%, right? You're going to get a 30, 40, 50%, whatever that looks like. All right, 100% for the sake of the example. And by the way, if they're not providing leads for you and they're saying that you need to buy leads yourself and you're under like a 80% commission level, you're just getting wrecked. So comment down below and I'll help you out with that if you need, but that's fraud right there. That's just crazy if they're not even providing anything. Anyways, 75% for the chargeback rate, 75% for the advance, 100% as far as your comp goes. And also placement rate is going to be really important. And if you guys don't know what placement rate, here's what your placement rate is. So it's when it's a policy that you sell that is approved and pays their first premium, because that is really important. So your chargeback rate and percentage, but then also your placement rate is a really important factor. We'll say that it's like with your chargebacks and your placement rate, let's just say that mixed number is 85%. So I'm gonna move this and we'll go 85%. So 75% advance, 85% for placement rate and chargeback rate, because your placement rate, actually that number should be 80%. So 75% for that, and you have your chargeback rate and placement rate. Now you got that, and you're at 100%. And let's say you're all right, and you're selling a little over average policy, right? And you're selling, let's just say 1,050, right? 80 bucks a month, 85 bucks a month. Your average case size is $1,050. So now we have some things to work with, right? So we have your chargeback percentage, your placement rate, we have your average policy size. We'll get to cost per lead here in a second to be able to actually break down the realistic numbers. And then also we have your advance taken care of as well as, and your comp. So now we have to figure out, okay, if you sell a policy, right? So if you sell this $1,000 policy, how much are you actually going to get paid on that? So now that we got that, now let's talk, okay, if you sell an average, if you sell like your average case size, $1,050, which I don't know why that always does it. All right, 1,050 bucks. How much are you actually gonna get paid? So if you sell a policy after everything, not just one policy, but over the course of how much you're gonna do. Okay, and I'm gonna pull out my calendar or calculator here for you. All right, so let's do the numbers. $1,050, and you multiply that by your 100%, so it's multiplied by 1, and then you're gonna multiply this by 0.8, and you're gonna multiply that by 0.75. You're gonna be making $630 in top line commissions. All right, so 630 bucks is what you're actually going to get paid after the chargebacks, placement rate, blah, 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 all right? And also level business, right? Level graded GI, that's another thing that you wanna factor in here. So let's just take this down, because if you have a solid level and graded system, like I would say 80% is the number that you wanna look at here. So this is the most realistic breakdown that you're gonna get, so you can actually track these numbers. Because if you get a level product, that's gonna pay full commission, your 100%, but if you sell a grade, it's gonna be 15% cut, right? 10% cut. If you have AHL, Patriot, or Guide Star, then you're gonna keep your same level commission, which is awesome. All right, so 630. And let's just say we multiply this by 0.8, because you have a level business and you have graded. Now, $504 is going to be your advance. Now, if the policy were to stay, all right, if it were to stay the whole year, what you're gonna get paid is, we gotta do the math and say, okay, so 1,050, and we're gonna multiply that by your comp, which you're gonna get paid 100% on, and then 80% is gonna fall off, and then you're actually not, like, we take this 75% number out, and then we're gonna do for level and graded, you're gonna get paid on the year 672. All right, so these are the most realistic numbers, right? And so now it's like, okay, if your marketing side is dialed in, right? Your number, this is what most people never talk about, which I would highly recommend really tracking, is your cost per acquisition. Your cost per acquisition should be 100 to 150, all right? Let's just say it's 150, which I don't know why that happened, but let's just say it's $1,050. It should be this number or lower, all right? That's what we need to look at. So if your cost per acquisition is $150, then, and your average lead is $6 a lead, then we're gonna divide this by 6 and we're gonna get 25 leads. So this, if you're average, all right, if you're average, this is what the number looks like, all right? 25 leads, my bad, 25 leads. So that means that out of every 25 leads that you generate, you're getting a sale, all right? 25 leads equals sale. So I'm gonna erase this stuff. Every 25 leads that you get, you're gonna be making a sale on. So from here, it's like, all right, cool. Every 100 leads, you're gonna get 4 sales. And so now we need to figure out, okay, if you want to do an actual profit, $20,000, based on this most realistic example, 504, and you're getting, at this point, you're getting a 3.2, 3.5x ROAS, which is amazing. That's awesome. So now, if you factor in some other expenses with Kixi, with a dialer, with a CRM, you're probably gonna be looking at $450 top line on that. So let's just say you're at a 3x ROAS. That means that if you want to get to 20K in actual profit, just based on that example, if you're at a 3x ROAS and some other fixed costs, which you're pretty lean, but a dialer, a CRM, maybe you have some usage fees or whatever you do, $20,000 in profit, you realistically have to do 30K in commission, all right? So what this means is if you do 30K in commissions, then you're gonna spend about $10,000 in ads, right? And I would say that I've seen people actually get to 20K in profit and spend 4,000. That's why for this number is really important. If you can get this about under 100, you're gonna be crushing it. And if you get this 1,050 number up, that's gonna be huge as well. But all right, so 10K in ads, you have some dialers and things like that, or maybe this is actually 8K, my apologies. 8K on ads and you get $30,000 in commissions, you're probably gonna net out to 22K. And then again, your dialer, CRM, etc., you're gonna net out to that 20K number. So what do you actually need to do to be able to get there, right? So number one is, like, how many policies do you need to sell? Number one, like, and actually issue in this example. So let's just say 504 is the magic number there. So 504, and you multiply 504 and you multiply that or divide that, actually 30,000, because this is your commissions, right? So this is your top line commissions. This is your gross revenue to the business, right? That means that 30,000 divided by 504 is going to be 59 policies. And this is submitted, right? So issued, and say you're at $1,050, this is about 50 to 60K a month. And so this is why, like, it's so important. Your AP numbers, you need to make sure, like, AP is not profit. AP doesn't stand for, like, annual profit. It really doesn't. Like, it means annual premium. So don't inflate your numbers. Just, this is the truth. This is the reality of what this situation looks like. And so at first, your first 2 to 3 months are gonna be awesome because you're gonna be making all that and your charge rates haven't hit. But once that starts happening on a rolling basis, you're gonna be averaging 20 to 30K a month. You're gonna be seeing a nice flow of money coming in, and the better that you get at sales, the better you dial in your marketing, the better you dial in your creative, the more that you actually continue to spend, the better infrastructure, the better systems that you invest into, the better that you are going to be overall. And you're gonna see this number that when you hit $30,000 in commissions, you're gonna be able to net out $24,000, $25,000, $26,000 and not have to get, and not only just have to take home $20,000, $20,000 a month. All right, so here's the point. All right, 50 to 60 policies, and you're doing about 10 to 15 policies a week, right? 15 is gonna be your number. That's really the sweet spot. Like, you gotta be doing 15,000 a month. And so I think the lesson in this, right, for you, if you wanna actually hit these numbers, $20,000 a month, is number one, the levers that you can pull is getting your marketing side dialed in to where you're getting good cost-effective leads, right? That's number one. But number two, all right, this is the most important thing, is having a dialed in sales process, having your objections handled, increasing your presentation rate, increasing your close rate. These are metrics. These are things and numbers that you want to look at to make sure that you are crushing it. Because the better that your sales process is, I want you to leave with this, all right? The better that your sales process is, the more profitable that you are going to be. Marketing can only take so much, but like when you're at scale and when you're doing large numbers, you're doing $100,000 per month, you have to dial in your sales process. Your sales process is going to save you. When marketing goes out, it's on sales. Sales is the one closing the deal, the one that's getting the account number, the one that's not getting hung up on a social objection, the one that's not getting hung up on a banking objection. Your sales process has to absolutely be dialed. I hope you take that from this video. And I hope you really enjoyed this video, where it's the whiteboard, it's like just talking real authentic about the industry, realistic numbers. Because here's the thing, most people are gonna be facetious. Most people, it's just like this AP numbers just floated out there. And so there's these numbers that are so inflated, but that's not even close to what reality actually is. So I want you to live in reality. I want you to look at these numbers. I want you to dial in your sales process. I also want you to subscribe right now if you haven't already. Drop in the comments down below what you're taking from this video. And if you want to be serious about your business, if you want to be serious about taking it to the next level, then watch this video right here that actually goes over the whole sales process, that you can do this and you don't have to spend $10,000 to be able to make $20,000 in profit. You can spend 5, you can spend 4. The better your sales process is, the more profit that you're going to be able to rip out. So click this video right here and I'll see you inside.